Hi, and welcome to The One Thing I Know For Sure, a podcast where we ask one powerful question in order to reveal deep insight and hopefully inspire you to make some amazing changes or take these insights into your life for the better. That's all we really want. My name is Wendy Rosenthal. I am your host and Chief Pathfinder at Pathfinder One-to-One, a transformational coaching practice where we come from the approach of first internal, then external to help our clients elevate themselves, step into their greatness, keep at their greatness for, each and every day for as long as they want and overcome obstacles with clarity and ease. I'm really excited today to welcome my guest, Matt Guzzo. How are you, Matt?
I'm doing very well, Wendy. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here today. Matt is
Absolutely.
the Vice President of Lighthouse Recycling. He was born and raised in Syracuse. I've actually been to Syracuse, a really nice city. I almost moved there,
No
believe it or
way.
not. It was very cold, however.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't have lasted all that long.
I ended up in London. It was literally London or Syracuse. Crazy.
That's probably a much better choice.
And he went to the University of Dayton. He has a degree in mechanical and manufacturing engineering. He lived in Pittsburgh, another of my favorite cities, and then moved to Philadelphia. And he started working at Lighthouse at 2016 as a sales manager and has elevated himself to vice president. So, Matt, thank you so much again for being here. Can you tell us the one thing that you know for sure?
I think so. I think the one thing that I know for sure is that success is only as good as those that you can spend it with. And that's been a very important thing for me over the last probably 10 to 15 years or so.
So tell me why. Like, how does that express itself in your life and how does it make your life, better?
Yeah, I think when I met my wife for the first time, and we went through some things. She always saw something more in me than what I saw in myself, really. And I was always pretty proud of what I was able to do. And then she would always kind of push me a little bit more and said, "No, you can probably do better than that." So every time I get success, I look at her, and if I get a smile or a wink or something like that, I know I'm doing well. And when we brought our daughter into the world in 2021, that really completely changed things for me. Made things put things into more of a perspective of what success should look like moving forward.
Yeah, I think that's a really amazing perspective because, I'm sure you're around a lot of very successful people. I'm around a lot of very successful people. And quite frankly, sometimes, I've known a few where they may have all the success in the world, either financially or publicly, they're well known. And a lot of times there's an emptiness, I don't know, that I've seen
Hmm.
in people, right? Where
Sure.
they don't feel as happy. Like, how could you have all the success and not be happy? And, I feel like that aspect of sharing that success, like having somebody to share that success with is truly important. But maybe it even goes down at a deeper level because you could have people to share the success with, because sharing success could mean, oh, I buy people lots of gifts, right? Like,
Exactly.
I grew up in LA, so inevitably you might run across a few, a few celebrities, and I was good friends with a couple of them. And a lot of what they loved to do, and it was very generous, was, to shower gifts. But at the
Hmm.
end of the day, is that really sharing success? So when you're
Right.
talking about it, can you define a little bit more about what sharing that success looks like?
Yeah, I think I honestly can kind of go off what you're just talking about, trying to share certain things. And when you're talking about success, a lot of people do think, "Hey, I'm going to give you a gift or a present or something like that." My wife absolutely hates gifts and hates presents. And it was the funniest thing for the first, few years. And then even after we got married, I told her, "I'm going to stop getting you Christmas gifts and birthday gifts because that's not what she wants. She wants to
Right.
spend time with me. That's the most important thing." And I think when you get successful and you start handing things out to people, they kind of expect it, and they're always going to have their hand out, and they're always going to expect you to, pay for dinner or give them a nice Christmas present. And if you didn't do a nicer one than you did the year before, then, everyone's going to have a little probably chitter, kind of a thing, and
Right.
wonder, well, this isn't as good as what I had last year,
Than before,
that
yeah,
that that
expectations
kind of
start to
thing.
go up and
Right, right.
yeah,
So, what I've kind of realized is that the success that I've been able to grow into is, being able to be a little bit more present and maybe doing more family trips or spending more time at home and making other people travel and do a lot of the visits that y-
right.
would normally do. I mean, probably the first 5 years I had this job, probably even 6 years, I was on the road 4 to 5 days a week. And
Wow, that's a lot.
really, yeah, it absolutely was, and put a lot of stress on my wife. But then when my daughter was born, it was like, okay, I've kind of made it to where I needed, where I'm successful. The company is also, I can probably take a little bit of a step back and make sure I'm present at home for her, and it takes a lot of stress off of my wife also. So I'm
Yeah, so
trying to be as present as I possibly can.
well, I think that, sharing success in the terms of time spent is a great angle. That's a great tip. Like if you're going to share your success, it's not just about physical gifts, it's about your time, it's about your energy, it's about how you're showing up in life in other ways, correct? That's what success has allowed you to do.
Yes, yes. Again, just from, it's nice to have things. It's nice to be comfortable, but at the same time, at the end of the day, what do you really have if you don't have anyone
Right.
to share and spend your time with? So honestly, that is the most important thing for me, and being successful in the recycling world and in the business world has, given me the opportunity to spend a little bit more time at home.
Was it an obvious transition to you, or do you feel like because you had the support or insights and input from your wife, some people get very successful and they chase the success, like they want
Hmm.
more, which is good. Like I love what
Yeah.
your wife said. It's really important to keep that desire up. At Pathfinder, one of our big coaching tools is helping people literally understand their true desires better. So
Yep.
having more desire is a good thing, but chasing success kind of feels like a little bit of a default. So was
Yeah.
it something that you had to really think about, or because you had
Um,
that support?
yeah, I mean, I would say from, a corporate standpoint, I realized very early on that I didn't want to be in a corporate atmosphere kind
Mhm.
of a thing. I always wanted to be a part of a smaller family-owned business. And that was more of what I saw. Was it's more difficult to grow inside of a company when there's 1,000 to 20,000 people in there compared to maybe 20 to 150. So I think I've always done a good job of finding companies that kind of fit the same lifestyle that I wanted to try to grow into. Finding Lighthouse has been a complete blessing for me. I have the same outlook on life and want to enjoy it and spend time with my friends and spend time with my family. Obviously, our business is very important. And if we're not successful in business, we can't,
Right,
enjoy the other stuff at the same
right.
time. But my business partner has become probably my best friend at the same time. And, he is always telling me, make sure you're spending time with your family. You don't have to travel here. It's okay. He understands that he's already gone through the things in life that I'm currently going through now. And I think, he's even told me there's a few things he would do a little bit differently, that he wants to make sure that I don't miss out on. So that part of it has been extremely nice also, and I don't think there's a lot of people in the world that get that support system from the work side and from the family side as I have had.
So it sounds like having great mentors, putting
Yes.
yourself in a position. I love that you were very intentional about the place that you wanted to work and the reasons that you wanted to work, so that actually you could put yourself in a position to have that kind of mentorship and to be able to learn from it as you're growing. And hopefully, I assume that you're kind of sharing that with others as well, those coming up behind you.
I'm trying to. I'm at the age now where I'm trying to find someone 10 to 15 years younger who kind of has the same drive,
Right.
and kind of willing to go through some of some of the things I did in the beginning to get to the stage that we are at now. I truly feel like you need to work hard and show people that you're willing to do anything possible to, try to get a couple of steps ahead.
Right.
And it's been a little bit difficult finding those kind of people here in the last few years. So hopefully things
But
can change.
your desire to find that person is going to make it possible. The right person's going to come, in the right way. That's my
Yeah,
belief
for sure.
anyway.
Yep.
Any tips that you can give for how to kind of integrate this thinking into your life? Because I actually don't think it's a natural, I hate to say, but I don't know that it's a natural thing for everybody to view success in this way.
No, I think it's very hard, especially now with how the world is and how expensive everything's gotten. Work is probably everybody's number one focus,
Hmm.
and it's a very difficult thing to say I'm going to put work on pause, and this is probably the biggest problem.
Yep.
I know, I probably personally have not had a vacation day 12 years, and it's not because I haven't gone on vacation with my family. It's just that everybody knows how they can find me. And
Exactly.
the excuse of I'm on vacation, I didn't see it, doesn't work
Right, right,
anymore.
right.
And you need to have a pretty specific job, but if you want to be successful and you're trying to move up, having more responsibility and more accountability at work, comes with the territory of people always trying to find you and trying to get answers from you. So I think it takes a very specific person who is in a corporate job or a job that's a little bit more stressful to kind of take a step back and understand what is more important. And there are some people out there that work is the most important thing to them. I'm not going
Yeah.
to tell anybody that they should be thinking differently. But I think at the end of the day, at some point, work is going to be over with. Whether you're too old to do the job that you're currently doing, or you just get completely. I know people that just have worked really, really hard, and all of a sudden they're like, "I am completely finished with this. I
Right.
can't do
Can't
this
do it
anymore."
anymore.
And then they're gone, and they're not doing anything. And it's like, well, if you don't have anybody to spend it with, or anybody to go on vacation with, or go visit, or go out to dinner, or play golf, or whatever it is that you want to do, I'm not so sure the reasonings and why you are trying to
So
sorry.
that's a good, no, I was going to say, so it sounds like the tip is just to always be present and understanding what you want and realizing that success is multifaceted.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Awesome. Now, in the last minute that we have, can you tell people where they can find you in case they wanted to ask you for some mentorship on how to incorporate this into their lives?
That's a great question. I am on LinkedIn. We don't do a ton of advertising and marketing. Most of our business is going mostly by word of mouth.
How about just your
But
email then, or your LinkedIn? So LinkedIn, what is
yeah,
your
you can
plat-
you can you can find me there under Lighthouse Recycling. We also have a website, Lighthouse Recycling. Just type that into Google and it'll pop up. There's information on there about our company and all the different platforms that we service. And I think currently we're in 35 states across the country,
Awesome.
all over the
Listen,
place.
Matt, I'm so grateful that you were able to join us today and for your great insight. I really appreciated that perspective, and I'm sure our listeners do as well. And if you're interested in learning more about what Pathfinder One to One does and our coaching approach and how we and our programs that we have, please check us out at www.pathfinder1to1.com. And you can find us on all of your favorite social media platforms at Pathfinder One to One. Please like, share, and comment after you've seen this, because really, the more we can spread all of this great insight, the more people we can find that resonate with it, the world might just be a better place. Thanks so much for spending your time with us today.